Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. Today we will talk about portable, pocketable glass breakers and of course their usefulness for self-defense. So, 3 different pocket glass breakers. Let me show you their features. Okay, so this first one is a model that you've probably seen many times in buses and so on. It is really inexpensive. It has a belt cutter on the lower end here. Not needed in buses, but in cars obviously. And also you have like the hammer element in here. It's not too heavy, it's actually a lightweight little thing. And I guess that you can smash like a window with it, but definitely it's not really heavy enough to be a weapon. So if I try to smash something, yes, it works and it does dent the wood, but you can't really get a lot of leverage on it. So this next one here looks more like it belongs into a surgical set or something, or maybe into a torture chamber. I don't know, but you know, it is a lot more heavy and it's all metal and it looks super cool, I think. It only has a hammer side on here, but as you can see, it is like it does have a hardened steel tip. Let me show you so the camera focuses. Yeah, which is really nice, and I'm not really sure what this is for. It doesn't have any kind of moving functionality, but I guess it's probably there so you can exchange the tip here. Would have to take it apart for this. It's really heavier, and I guess that you can cause serious damage with it. Yeah, much more damage than with the other one. Okay, and you have the blunt end too. So this is something that I certainly don't want to be hit with against my head, and it is still very pocketable. So I like this quite a bit, but the problem is it's not long enough for serious damage. It is pocketable because it's short, but it's just not long enough. Too short, but you want it short so that you can transport it. Telescope. So I made this one. It's completely homemade. I mean, made this from like 18mm steel, and this one actually is a telescopic baton, so that you can extend like so. Very, very simple. And then of course it's a formidable weapon. See how solid it is, and you can't really turn this. Okay, and now of course it's 40 centimeters long and it gives you much more damage potential. So if I use this against this piece of wood, I can definitely cause a ton of damage. Yeah. And as you see, it stays in place, and I can tell you why. A lot of you will say, how does the head stay in the right direction? Why doesn't it turn? Because in fact, you can turn it. Well, that is because this is a friction lock baton. There are other models that have a button, and which a lot of people like because it collapses far easier. But the friction method has the advantage that once it's extended, it is completely locked in place. So if I extend this, then you can see that you cannot twist this anymore. It's absolutely solid, and that is because you can see that you have this conical shape here and also here. And this means that as the more you push it outwards, the more it will jam in this cone-shaped thing here. So this is really this ramp face here creates a ton of friction, making it impossible for this to twist. And this here, it is screwed on, but you can probably also see that I put a bolt through the whole thing, so that you can't twist it out anymore without removing the bolt first. So it's still exchangeable, but it has the advantage that it will not come loose. So this is the original knob that comes with it. Yeah, take a look. See, it's an M8 threading here, and I put the same one on here. So this is really easily exchangeable. The disadvantage of this method is that it's harder to collapse it, because you can't really push it in. It's locked so firmly in place that would not be possible. What you have to do is you have to kind of punch it on the head with a swift motion against something hard, and then it collapses, like so. See, then it collapses. Again, you can push this out, and then if it's not done in a forceful way, I can still use my hand to do this, so that would work. But if it's fully extended, then you need something hard. And it is not so nice. It would be nicer if you have a button, because then it would be more elegant. But you know, truth be told, in a real serious combat condition, it is important how fast it ejects, not how fast it comes back to the collapsed version. You got all the time afterwards to do that. Now, if it comes to portability, these 3 are absolutely comparable. I mean, this is light. These have about the same weight, the 2 of them. This has more weight in the hammer, but then again, you have all the metal here, which is really nice. Of course, now people want to find out if it's solid, and we'll test it against various things. First, we have a coconut. It's no longer fresh. It's actually been, you know, here, around here, because from a previous test for some time, but it's still solid enough. Ouch. Okay. Whoa! It cracked like nothing. And as you see, the baton is still absolutely intact. And it's not collapsing. It's really solid. Let's now test the sideways collision potential with these two. All right. Tell me if that is enough potential for you. I think it's a fearsome weapon. It's actually a mini warhammer. That's what it is. And this is what it did to the other can. It also penetrated and dented it heavily because I was hitting it a little bit sideways. Now, in order to compare the damage that the hammers can cause, we'll hammer away at this board here, which is really a soft little laminate floorboard, and then compare the dents to see if there's a significant difference. Okay, first the cheap hammer. All right, there is damage, but not very much. Now the silver boy. Definitely more damage. Test the other side. And now the telescope badass boy. Oops. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's look at the damage. I hope that you guys can see. So this here was the cheap plastic hammer. That was the metal hammer. Okay, and this is actually the blunt side of the metal hammer. Okay, and this is what the long hammer did. Pretty convincing, would you not agree? All right, this is actually very portable, and it still fits great into this little belt thing here that you can also close, and then close this little buckle here. So you can very easily draw this out, and you can even draw it out like so, so that you already have it extended. Okay, then of course it's not so heavily extended. So this is really comfortable to be worn on your belt. Actually, you see you have this adjustable belt hook here. So you can just clamp it on your belt and then strut around with it. And you can do that legally in Germany if it's a rescue hammer, not if it's just a baton. That's right, because the baton is a weapon, and a weapon cannot be carried legally in Germany without a permit that nobody ever gets. But if it's a tool or a rescue tool like this, it is legal to carry, even though, of course, I believe that this head makes this thing far more deadly than the original one with the round knob, because it's heavier and because it's shaped in a very lethal way. So I absolutely firmly believe that this is a lot more dangerous. I'm thinking about getting this into production. Then of course it would look different. It would also have this hardened tip end here that I couldn't attach because all I have is a lathe, so I couldn't really do that to this. And also I would make it red and then put Nothammer, which does not mean not hammer, which means emergency hammer, glass breaker on it, so that it's clear to the authorities that this is a rescue tool. Because you never know, if you get stuck in some kind of shop or something, and then the door is jammed, and then a fire breaks out, and then you'd be very grateful if you have this with you so that you can escape. And of course, in the situation of an emergency, of an attack, you have something to use as a self-defense tool. And that would also be legal in Germany because it's covered by the law. Now, of course, I'm still thinking to get this in production. This is my wooden model of an expendable version that would fold out. And this also gives you an enormous amount of leverage, because you can hold it like this and then smash with it. And of course, it's also done to cut through windows. And then what you would do is you would hold it like this, and then you would saw. And it would give you a lot of power to do the saw work and down the windshield to cut through the laminated glass. So of course it wouldn't be quite as effective as a professional tool. I'll show that to you in a second, but it would still be a lot better than nothing, and it is absolutely pocketable. So this is the professional model. As you can see, you also have a glass breaker that you can even remove and then turn around for transportation. And you can use that to crack the glass. And then you have this saw here, and the idea is that you crack the glass first, maybe with this one or with this one, and then you can actually use it like so, and then go in and then use it as a saw to do the heavy saw work with it. So that does work, and you can see this is also the kind of saw that you want on the tool too. I just couldn't do this in the wood part, but this is how it would look like. And now if you compare the blade length of both devices, it's very comparable blade length. So, and of course this would be not quite as rough, it would be more shaped like this here. So that it's effective to saw through the laminate. And even on the leverage, the difference is not so great. So I think this would still be a useful tool. And what I will do is, I will test this once I made a metal one. Actually, Mike Sansom, the president and owner and founder of GoGun UK, he has a plasma cutter. And he promised to make the parts for this one in steel for me this weekend. So then, of course, it will still not be hardened, but it will give me a feeling for the weight and for the handling. Because in wood, this really is not feasible. So that would be the next step, make it in metal and test it out. And if it's working fine, then I will probably get a professional blade made. Well, anyway. So, I hope you like this little emergency hammer of death. Because I do, and I do want to turn this into a professional product because it performs so well. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks, and bye-bye. I'm wet now.